Welcome, I'm Drake Blaze. I'm a member of the furry community for over 10 years, and I'm doing a video on an aspect of that, which is Otherkin. I will be going into a quick description, a little bit further on how it connects to the furry community, and also a bit of history to it. Late and at the end of the video, I'll be answering some questions that were submitted via Twitter and Discord. So let's get started, shall we? Before I start, a quick side note. When I was researching for this video, I knew of two subcategories of Otherkin. Furryan, which I feel I have mispronounced, so I've put the spelling just below, and Otherkin. These are the two that I'm going to be focusing on in this video. There is other subcategories of Otherkin available. I have put my sources in the description below. So if you don't know where to start or want to use these to help you expand your knowledge of Otherkin, they're there. But anyway, let's start the video. So, what is Otherkin? When I'm referring to Otherkin, I'm talking of both Furryan and Otherkin. Some of you may know Otherkins or have a knowledge on it. For others, I'll explain. Otherkin is where on a spiritual, mental, or soul level you feel either partially or completely non-human, and in turn feel connection with a creature. These can be earthen animals like lions, tigers, cats or dogs, or even mythical creatures like dragons, unicorns, or sometimes vampires. You can then experience this either just spiritually, where you know spiritually you are non-human and use meditation to build that connection, while others experience it on a physical level, where they will start shifting, where they'll start to feel phantom limbs like wings, claws, horns, muzzles, tails even. And most of the time these can be sort of like they don't experience anything in the real world, you know, they phase through things and all that, but on the occasion they will sort of interact with the real world, maybe knocking something off, or someone taking a bit further path around you, or maybe getting your tail stuck in a door. There is then on a further thing where people want to experience this fully and live their lives like they're animals. Like an example is a woman in Sweden who lives her life like a cat. Now for me, I experienced the physical level, not to the extreme where I want to live my life as a dragon. I've experienced the shifting, where I feel phantom tails, wings, occasional horns, or even a muzzle, and all that. So, and I have experienced where I'll seem to randomly knock something off without even touching it. But yes. So, when did Otherkin become a thing? From my research, the earliest date I could officially find was the 1960s, which said it had a connection with the pagan community. I also found that in the 1990s, Otherkin became a general term, and then started to grow due to the growth of the internet, via forums, news groups, instant chat, and chat rooms. But in actual fact, I believe this has been going on longer than the 1960s due to the fact it's connected with the pagan community. And also, if you look at Native American and pre-Christian European religions, you can see that they are closer connection with the nature, natural, and spiritual side of life. So I believe that Otherkin has been around for thousands of years. It's just that in the 1990s, it started to develop its own term. Simply no. Otherkin is not connected to the furry community. I know of types of Otherkin that have their own forums and chat rooms that aren't even animal-based Otherkin. I know people within the furry community who are Otherkin, but I believe this would be assumed by the general public due to the furry community's personas, anthropomorphic characters, and fursuits, and the fact that Otherkin feel connected to an animal. But they're just simply not. How do people find out they're Otherkin? The way they find out is through a few ways, which is as simple as, you know, not feeling connected to the world and feeling more connected to certain species, There's meditation, sitting in a room, emptying your mind, maybe with some music in the background, and then just having that realization that you aren't a human. And then there's apparently other people can detect Otherkins. I'm not 100% sure what they would look for or what they would feel, as I've never met anyone and I don't know where to start looking for someone like this. But for me, I found out via meditation and the fact that I didn't feel human and had a more connection with dragons. So that was a quick video on what Otherkin is. I'm just going to answer some questions that were submitted via Twitter and Discord to help me get this topic together. So the first question was, how and when did you realize that you were an Otherkin, or how did you discover that you were an Otherkin? I discovered it when I was part of the furry community, but I believe in actual fact it started back in high school that I was actually realized I was Otherkin, because I realized I was different, an outsider from everyone else, and just didn't fit in. I then sort of left high school, started going to college, and then started doing meditation, and found out through that I had some sort of guardian spirit that was a dragon at the time. I then joined the furry community. I took that guardian spirit design, modified it so it was like Drake, and started using that as my persona. Then I realized later that through this Otherkin community in the furry community that I was Otherkin, and this dragon that I had seen and created was my soul, mind, and spirit. So that's how I discovered I was Otherkin. Next question. So you think you are a dragon and you are in the wrong body. It's not just that I think I'm a dragon in a human body. It's basically my spirit is a dragon, and it's just that it's ended up in a human body. So I have to still do the human things of going to the doctors, going to the dentist, normal stuff like that. So really, I know I'm not in the wrong body. It's just that my spirit is a dragon. Is Otherkin the feeling that you are Drake the Dragon? It's a little bit more than that. It's more personal, more spiritual, more mental, mind and soul sort of type thing, where it's basically Drake is me. This is what my soul is. I can sort of now envision what and put across to you what my soul looks like. This is what my soul looks like. What's the biggest difference between regular furries, personas, and Otherkins? So the main difference between these is furries is a term for the furry community that people use and people within it. So, they're a furry, I'm a furry, we're all furries, that type of thing. Personas are what furries use in the community to interact with each other. I mean, not everyone has a persona, not everyone sort of has a strong connection with their persona, and that sort of thing. I know Otherkins that have personas that are what their soul looks like, their kin is, but not every Otherkin is a furry. There's some out there in different communities, and there is some that are non-animal type creatures, like vampires, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Now, does discovering Otherkin change anything from before? Well, besides having mental, spiritual, and soul happiness, it doesn't really change too much because, of course, I can't breathe fire or anything like that. But the major thing that I've found from being a physical shifting Otherkin is the fact that I start to sometimes feel randomly frills, horns, muzzles, claws, wings, tails, that all type of things, just randomly. And I mean, most of the time I suddenly feel it, but they'll shift through things and sort of not interact with the real world. But then occasionally I'll get the occasional thing knocked randomly with me just walking by, or suddenly my tail will get trapped in the door, that type of thing. So that's the major things that have changed. What advice would you give other people on the fence about Otherkin? Now, I'll split this into two because there's two ways you can take this. You can take it as someone who's on the fence about being Otherkin. What I would say is talk to someone. Talk to someone in the Otherkin community. There is tons of places that you can go and talk with Otherkins just to find out whether you're an Otherkin or not. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're an Otherkin or not. Just make sure that you find out if it makes you happy. Brilliant. If it's not what you want or is incorrect for you, don't worry. It's absolutely fine. You don't need to be part of it. And for the people who are on the fence about the Otherkin community, don't worry about it. I mean, it's not, if it doesn't hurt anyone, if it doesn't hurt you or them, don't worry about it. Just let them be happy. They are finding happiness through who they are, and you know, you can find happiness through who you are, and it'll be a better world, and we'll all have happiness. So how does it affect you? As I said earlier, it affects me in the fact that I will sometimes feel like horns, frills, muzzles, wings, tails, randomly throughout the day, and all that. So, and yeah, it's other than that, it's not really affecting me too much. I just have mental and spiritual happiness. What qualifies you as such? I sort of describe on how you discover you're an Otherkin earlier in the video. I mean, there's no 100% you are an Otherkin, you have to follow these rules and all that. It's just finding it by yourself. You have to sort of qualify yourself. I can't qualify you, and anyone else in the Otherkin community can't qualify you. You have to find the answers yourself. So yeah, there's no test you can take online or anything like that. So that's the end of the video. Hope this was helpful and informative. In the description, I have posted links to the sources I used getting this video together. If you want to look into it yourself, they're there. If you want to ask other questions about Otherkin, post them in the comments. If there's any video ideas you want me to do regarding the furry fandom or / community or Otherkin, or maybe not, or even the idea of me talking about the other types of Otherkin, just put them in the comments. I'll see them, and I can then start working on that video if there's enough interest. Now, I also have a Discord, I stream on Twitch, and they are in my bio on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell when I post my next video. All I'm going to say at the end, as I do in my streams, is have a good day, evening, afternoon, or day, whenever you're watching this. Stay safe and be yourself, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!